What up, speakers? So, first of all, shout out for an amazing first Q&A call. Your support of each other was so beautiful. Your I recognize statements so amazing, and your hearts and who you are. I told y'all this is a powerhouse group. I told you. So, thank you for your grace with the technology issues, as well as the grace with us going over, as well as not being able to get to the virtual workshop stuff. What I'm going to do for that is I'm going to send you all on Sunday access to a training that I led about 2 months ago on virtual workshop presentations and how to be engaging virtually. And it's essentially was going to be some of the stuff I presented last night. So I'm just going to give y'all access to the whole 2-hour training. And if you have questions, of course, you can ask about that later. So Pam asked a question last night about what are some things that you all can glean and learn from me that have contributed to my success in addition to my prayer life and my faith. So I answered it last night, and then I recorded another video last night, and then I went live this morning to expound upon it, but I did not share it. So I'm recording it. This may be the last time, but it's interesting. No one had ever asked me that question. What about me specifically has contributed to my success? And there are people who are way more well known and are making more money and all that stuff, but it's not even about comparing to feel bad. It's about being inspired, but also being in my lane and doing well with what I have. And so I have 19 things I'm going to give you all. And it does not mean if you do all 19 of these things, that means you're going to reach your goals. It doesn't mean that. I'm just going to share. And if any of these resonate with you, I challenge you to implement them or work on them or pray about them. And side note, can't wait. I'm going to get these braids tightened tomorrow. So let me give you the 19. The first is, I shared this last night, is I strive to cultivate relationships. Meaning if someone wants to book me to speak, I'm not just talking to them about the engagement. I'm talking to them about them and what they do. I mean, I can't tell you how many conversations have gone to the left, or this is my right, but gone to the right, because we're talking about traveling, or we're talking about my love of nephews, or we're doing life. I do life with the people who book me and their teams and even people I meet. The second is I strive to do well with what I have. And what I mean by that is I don't have a lot of social media followers. On Instagram, I may have 2,300. On Facebook, maybe 4,500. Again, this may be more than some. LinkedIn, 5,000 or little, you know what I mean? But I don't have a grand scheme like 300,000 followers, and I do well with that. There was a time I thought I need more followers to do what I do. There was a time I thought that. But I remember seeing a colleague of mine who did not have a lot of followers at all, but he was consistently booking. And I saw him, and he just knocked it out on stage. He did so well. People connected with him. So I've had clients who have 200, 300, 400,000 followers, and they're pursuing speaking, but I have more opportunities and I'm being paid more. And the reason is, one, people didn't know that's what they were trying to pursue. Which takes me to kind of a bonus tip is, do people know that this is what you are striving to do? They don't know. I think if you look at my social media pages, you know that I believe in self-care. I'm a public speaker. I give public speaking tips and family. And you'll see travel and things like that. So do well with what you have. Number 3 is I invest in coaching. What's really interesting, I didn't start investing in coaching, honestly, until the last 3.5 years or so. Because starting off, number 1, I didn't know that I could make this into a career. Number 2, I didn't realize that I needed coaching. And 3, I kind of thought I knew everything. That's just what it is. And it's interesting, as I started to become more successful in this space, I began investing in coaching. And I actually connected with the new coach 2 days ago, and I'm speaking with another potential coach soon. So coaching is really important because I know all I know. I don't know what I don't know. Oh, another one that I do believe I do is I hear the need when I'm on the call. In a couple weeks, when we talk about the booking call, we're going to take a long time to go through that. There's a process. There are some intentional steps that we have to take, but I hear the heart. I hear what is needed. As I'm speaking, I know my content well enough where I can shift around a bit and it doesn't take me off my game, because if I am leading something, a workshop, if you will, and I can tell that we need to stay on a particular area, we'll stay longer. I'm sensing the heart of the need and heart of the audience. I do well. I do well on stage. Even though I've spoken over 800 times and all these kind of numbers, I rehearse, I practice, I write out my stuff, I write out my outlines, I go over. Even if it's the same talk I'm giving over and over and over, I go over it. I push myself to try new things. For example, I'm trying something now where I'm opening up singing, "This is how we do it." I'm just pushing myself. I'm trying different things, and I'm connecting the rap verse of the song to something about me, right? I'm pushing myself, but while still being me, because I don't ever need to be comfortable. Comfortable is not good. Comfortable for me is the enemy of greatness and excellence, because I get too complacent. The next is, I in my tips. So I'm me on stage and I provide really good content, in my opinion. Within my content and tips, I have tips where I tell you to do something now. People really appreciate do something now. So if you're doing a women's empowerment, what I want you to do is write out, fill in this blank, fill in the blank. What am I trying to say? This framework for affirmation, right? I led a self-care training yesterday and people really appreciated that I had them work on their self-care toolkit and gave them homework. People appreciate do something now. The next is I create an experience. Part of my experience is music and movement and connecting with other people. So I'll put you in groups, whether we're virtual or face-to-face. I try to connect at a heart level. And how do I do that? I do it by sharing my story. I do that by seeing you, by being me. I also try to connect at a cerebral level by shifting you in a sense. So you may know I incorporate dance in just about everything I do. There's a reason for that. It's not just for the sake of, we're going to dance and have a good time. It's when I am activating something in your mind. I'm activating a certain lobe in your mind that is allowing you to lean in a little bit more when I am sharing. Also, I know that I am good at what I do. I think that's something else. I know I have opportunities for growth, but I know I am good at what I do. There was a time where I was like, oh, thank you. I don't know. It's not a big deal. I guess I am. No, I know that I'm good at what I do. I think that's important to know, and I know I am. I know I'm able to connect with people, but I also know I can grow and learn. I think that's important. The next one is I do have God-given gifts, as we all do, and I strive to use them well. Something that I will say is I took my God-given gifts for granted. I took them for granted, and it wasn't until I was reading through some feedback about 5 years ago that I realized I had taken these gifts for granted, maybe 6 years ago, and thought I need to nourish them. I need to cultivate them. I need to honor these gifts that I've been given that have nothing to do with the classroom. Now, yes, I do bring in all my knowledge and classroom knowledge and being a mental health professional knowledge and professor knowledge to the table, but those God-given gifts, are you cultivating yours? Your God-given gifts and abilities, are you honoring those? That's really important to do. I'm me. Number 9, whatever we are on the list. Number 9, I am me. I am me on that stage. I am me. Y'all know this. One of the top 3 pieces of feedback I get after my talks are, they talk about my energy. They appreciated my humor, how real I am. And they just say, I appreciate you being you. You came in here, almost they want to say, you came in here, you did not fit the corporate mold at all. You have color in your braids. You had us dancing. You use slang. You use this, but I also know my stuff. So I am me. I am me. The next one is 90% of my opportunities have come from word of mouth. They have come from word of mouth, meaning I'm doing life with people. I'm doing really well on stage because y'all have heard me say your talk has got to be stellar because your talk is going to create other opportunities. But 90%, so I don't really reach out for other opportunities. I've done that in the past once or twice. No, I'm not gonna lie. I did that in the past a little bit, but if I look at it, they come from people hearing me, people seeing me, people recommending me. Also, I've been recommended from somebody meeting me, not necessarily hearing me speak. My first opportunity to speak at that high school in Dallas was somebody meeting me saying, you're a young black woman working on a PhD. You're inspiring in who you are. So let people see who y'all are. They don't know. People don't know how brilliant you are. You've got to show them. Number 11 is going back to create an experience. I strive to create memorable experiences. I strive to do that. For example, in the Q&A call, I do it that way. I do it that way as opposed to me hopping on, y'all posting questions in the comment, and me just answering questions, which is fine, but I strive to create an experience that you can learn from each other, that you can cheer each other on, and that you can learn from each other in that kind of space. In my other events, I create an experience where we may have fun in the beginning, we may talk about something kind of deep and serious, and we're going to end it. So as I'm very intentional with every step of the way. You all can probably see with Next Level, I gave you pre-work. Part of the pre-work was to reach out. Part of the pre-work was to do the detox, because in order to be who you are on that stage for your audience, you've got to be free and detox some of these lies. So I'm very intentional about creating these experiences. Okay. Another one is I offer support. Ooh, yes. The language that I use is I would love to support you. If I can support you in this way, if I could support you in that way, I use the word support. Not can I come in and speak? Can I be one of your speakers? But can I support? The next one is I follow up. I follow up. After opportunities, I might reach out a week later. Thank you so much again. It was amazing. If I could support you in any way, let me know. 6 months later, a year later, I might follow up and say, thank you so much for bringing me in. I'd love to support you again. Here are some additional topics that I have. Because here's the thing. People don't know what they don't know about you, and you're adding and you're growing all the time. I create opportunities as well. Specifically during this time with COVID, I reached out to about 6 speaking clients and said, I cannot imagine what your organization is going through. I'm sure you are overwhelmed. If there's a need around self-care, I'd love to support you in this way. And I offered some trainings for free. I offered some clients a discount, and I offered to do them at my full rate. But I created experiences based on what I was seeing. So I reach out. I don't just wait for things to come to me. I reach out to clients I already know. I also create stages. I've created a lot of events from Cozy Convos, which is a space for women, a faith-based space for women that was around for almost 7 years. I never planned for that to happen. I do cruises. I've hosted retreats. I was co-founder of another initiative to provide Black women a stage to share their stories. So I create that too. I create. Some of you said last night you want to create experiences. I've done that. I've created experience, and that's how people have connected with me as well. Because it's like, I may not be invited over here, may not be invited over there, but let me get on this stage here of my own and also get on others. So I create opportunities. The next, and we have a few more, y'all. The next is I'm in it for the long haul. I am in it for the long haul. You may connect with the client and they may not be able to bring you in now, but keep doing life with them. AT&T is an example of a company I connected with 3 years ago. And the first thing I did was supported one of their employee resource groups, and I offered they asked me to do a webinar, but it was going to be free. It was to 200 people. And then I was invited to be a keynote. Then I was invited to do something with another ERG and be one of the speakers at an event in DC. And then I was invited to speak at another event and then be a keynote speaker at another event. And now this 9-week series for the women of AT&T that I'm doing. But I've cultivated the relationship with the people and just done life, but I've stayed in it for the long haul. Stay connected for the long haul. Do this for the long haul, y'all. You've got to be willing to put in the time. Don't give up after 1 year. Don't give up after 2 years. Don't give up after 6 months. I've seen people give up after 3 months. Don't do that. The next is I strive to give. My theme for this year is give, live, and finish. I want to give well, give unto the Lord, give freely. I want to live well, and I want to finish what I start. But give. Have a heart to give. Whenever you're working with clients, have a heart to give. I strive to over-deliver. I'll give you an example. Someone was sharing that they had a limited budget. And so we'd love to bring you in, but we can offer this amount, and maybe my fee for that would normally be $10,000, but they said $5,000 just to give. And I said, you know what, I'm still going to offer this, and let's do it. Y'all, I've given to some organizations during this season for free because I wanted to, not to manipulate, not to do anything, because I was led and I wanted to. And there have been 2 organizations that have said, we have submitted a grant specifically for you so we can bring you in and pay you to speak. There have been 2 people, organizations. There's been another organization who said, you've done so much for us for free. We've got to make sure that we're able to pay you. Another organization said, oh, thank you so much for working with our budget. Would you be willing to speak on this national stage? Would you be willing to do this? We want to provide space for you. So it's almost like, wow, you've done so much to support us. We want to help you and your platform. A side part of that is it's important to have champions. You've got to have people who champion you and know that you're good at what you do, who can speak for you at those tables, who can speak for you at the decision-making tables. There have been many champions of mine who have spoken up for me, who pushed for me when people maybe didn't want that and people didn't, this is just the truth, didn't want to pay that for me as a black woman, but they paid it for the white male and the black male. But there was pushback for me, and I've had champions who said, no, we need to pay her that amount as we're paying them. The next is you've got to be consistent in what you do. Be consistent. Be consistent in your voice, in your work, on social media. Don't give up. I already mentioned that. Don't give up. And use all of your background. Use all of you. Use all of you, your personality. So me, I use my experience as a professor, as a mental health professional, as an aunt, as someone who likes music and to dance and travel, and I've been through hard things. I use all of that. I bring all of me to the table. I spoke with someone who attended the recent speaker boot camp, and we were working on her talk, and she's in corporate America, and we added a mini step routine in her talk. We added her singing at the beginning and a chant at the end, and she said, I never thought that I could incorporate all of me in a talk. I never knew that. I thought I had to hide that part of me. No, use all of who you are. So this video wound up being a lot longer than I hoped, but it was some good, I think, good information. Again, take from it what you will. Doesn't mean if you do all of these, you'll see the results you want. But my hope for any client that I get the opportunity to work with, I want y'all to go beyond me and go further than that. As long as you remember that it's about impact. Income will come, I promise you. I chased contracts at one point. Oh, another thing, don't chase the contracts. I chased contracts at one point. It doesn't work. I chased contracts at one point so much so I ignored the 70 people in line who wanted to meet me. I saw them, but I wasn't present for them because I wanted to get a contract with this other opportunity. So be present and give, and I promise, as they say, your gifts will absolutely make room for you. Speakers, you are amazing. I hope this helps. And if it does, drop it in the chat. Tell me which one or which ones resonated with you the most. Deuces.